Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I have 3 DIYs for you, so without further ado, let's jump in. For our first DIY, I'm using metal circle that I had from a Dollar Tree wreath form. You can use any circular shape that you find at home. A roll of Dollar Tree yarn. Took the yarn and I measured length of maybe around 22-23 inches long, and I did that until the entire roll was finished. When I was done, I think I probably got around maybe 17 sets. Then after the yarn was done, I measured out maybe strands of 6. So off camera I went ahead and I attached them to the ring, and I am leaving these 2 so I can show you how I did it. So what I did, I pulled the yarn under with my fingers in the middle, and then I grabbed the set that was hanging from my left and pulled that through and pulled it until it was tightly secured. And I did that for both of them, and now I'm done with this part of the DIY. So we are moving on to the next part. Yes, when I was done, I counted 17 bulbs. So I flipped it over and tug on the knots until they were tightly secured. And then I'm just using my finger to even out the curls on the yarn. So what I'm gonna do next, I am going to take my scissors and cut into a V form from the edge, from one edge to the center. Just to add a little more flavor, I'm taking some wooden beads that I had from another project. You can see that boho wall hanging video that I did right here. You can totally skip this step. It's not necessary. You don't have to do this. You can skip this step if you don't have beads. I just decided that I wanted to add something, a little more flair to it, so I'm adding the wooden beads. So I'm singling out some strands. I think I did 1 strand from each bulb. To get the yarn inside of the bead, you can wrap a little piece of tape on the ends. I just kind of eyeballed it and figured which strand to lift for the bead, so that's what I did. Yep, 7 strands of 2. I flipped it around so you can see what I'm doing. So after that was all done, now it's time to decorate. Now this pack of Christmas decoration I picked up at the 79-cent store. I just happened to be passing and saw a 79-cent store, and I'm like, oh yes, let me just make a stop right there. Decoration was very easy to handle, and I thought it would look great on top of this. So I cut some greenery from the decoration, and now I am attaching it to the ring. So this gold decoration I had from another project, and yep, they came in handy right here. I'm attaching the greenery to the ring with Dollar Tree zip ties. Zip ties are red, but I'm making sure that they are hidden behind the greenery. So when it's hung, you won't see the red showing beneath it. There you have it, Boho Dream Catcher. I think that's what it's called. And this is a Christmas version. Now we're moving on to DIY number 2. Now this piece of wood I had from another project. So what I'm doing here, I'm mixing 3 colors, gold, brown, and white. It's just to give it a natural look, because as you can see, the wood is white. I want to have all of them in the same color. So I am just painting the wood, adding a little brown, a little white, and the gold for a little sheen. While I was painting, I couldn't decide whether I wanted it all brown or a mixture of brown and gold. As I was painting, I was just making my decisions as I go. So now I set that aside to dry, and now I'm moving on to these little teeny weeny clothespins. They're so cute. So I painted the clothespins and set them aside to. So I went ahead, printed out some numbers. This step is optional. You don't have to print out numbers if you don't have a computer. You can handwrite the numbers, or you can cut them from magazines or wherever you can find your number. I am also just scoring lines to cut them out, and after I was done cutting them out, I set those aside. After the frame was dried, I am now sanding it down with sand block from the Dollar Tree. You can use whatever sandpaper you have. And then after I was done sanding, I added some Mod Podge, set it aside to dry, and then I am now ready to move on to the next step. This next step, to be adding some nails. I have 8 1-inch nails. I'm going to add 4 on either side. Then I am going to use some jute to tie strings across or one side to the other. Then when I was done with that, I am now gluing the numbers to the back of the cereal box, ensuring that when you flip it around, you're not seeing the printed side of the cereal box. And when I was all done with that, I am now gluing the little clothespins onto the numbers. One side I'm using one side to glue them on so I can attach them or pin them onto the strings. So I'm pinning my numbers to the line. For the number 25, I glue that onto a little block just to serve as a stand, and I'm gluing that onto the frame. Then I took some jute and wrapped that around it for added decoration. I am adding a little gift box, some greenery, and 2 little pine cones, and now we're done. Forgive the mess, guys. I sometimes lose track of what I'm doing and forget to clean up my earring. So now we're on to DIY number 3, and this one is so easy. And with those teeny weeny tiny clothespins, I took 2 of them and I painted them gold and set them aside to dry. I am using this wooden pallet that I picked up from the dollar store, and what I'm going to be doing, just adding a little paint, gold, a little white, and some brown, just to change the color because it's so white. I didn't remove the jute that's hanging from behind because it can also be hung. You can use it for 2 ways. You can either that piece of string that's hanging from the back of it. You can either hang it on the wall or you put it to stand. So I set it aside to dry, and now I'm adding a little Mod Podge. There you go. And I must add, guys, when you are doing this step, I did not do it here. I remembered afterwards. So I would recommend you just put a little piece of tape in the area that you want to put the clothespin down before you start painting. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it, and most of all, subscribe to this channel. Make sure to also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.